All right, here we go. I'm going to hit the record on Zoom as well.
Okay.
And now we can be super professional.
All right.
All right, we are live on YouTube. And I'm going to screen share the book cover. And let's see, I'm going to go to the live link. It's going to take people, because I just launched it, it's going to take people a few minutes to get on board. So let me screen share the book cover so they know they're in the right place. And dance appreciation. There we go. It's beautiful. Do you see it?
Gorgeous.
All right, there's a picture of me live in my room with my fancy shirt. Okay. Oh, I'm going to go into that video now and turn my volume off. You can also follow on the live stream if you want, if you have another desktop. Just make sure you turn whatever computer has the live stream, make sure you turn the sound down or you'll get feedback.
Oh, right. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. All right, so of course nobody's in the chat yet. I'm just going to write a little note that says welcome. Is there anything you want me to ask you that, you know, should I ask you if you have any more books coming out, or if you're working on anything new, or, you know, anything you want me to ask? Anything
sure,
you want me to ask?
Yeah, if you want to ask about upcoming projects, sure.
I'll do that.
I will talk about that. Or I should say current projects.
Okay. Yeah, I'll save that for the end when I run out of ideas. Then you'll know I'm like, running out of ideas. All right, so now we just wait for an audience, I think.
Okay.
That's the main thing. And we've got, have you subscribed to my YouTube channel yet?
I just did today.
That was you, okay.
I'm one of your new followers.
Yay, I got 2 new followers since I started advertising, which was awesome.
See, I think it's wonderful. You know what I ended up doing as well is I bought some Google ad time. Yeah. And I mean, it was cheap. And I also bought some Facebook ad time. And so essentially it's just, you know, how the ads come through, right? And it's essentially just working its way through. And because I figured, you know, this month, we're looking to try to get as many programs as possible looking at it and considering it for adoption in the programs. So
yeah, it's a good time of year because they're thinking about fall.
Oh, one of my friends, Brittany, says she's watching.
Oh, great. Okay, so people will be watching, but they aren't necessarily chatting yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 2 watching now. It gives me a number. We have 2 watching. Hey, wonderful. Brittany, welcome.
She says she can't find the chat function.
Oh, it's to the right-hand side. You may have to be logged in to a Google Gmail YouTube account. They're the same, one and the same. Google's taking over the world, so they're the same thing now. So I probably shouldn't say that, they'll shut us off. But so if you're logged into your Gmail on the computer, you're also logged into your YouTube, which means that you should be able to go into the top chat, which is featured right to the right-hand side of the reduced size screen. If you're in full screen, then you can't see the chat on the side. But if you're in full screen, if you're in reduced screen, you should see, I just put one comment in from Kelly Donovan Dancers. Welcome to a book talk on dance appreciation. There's a little YouTube signal and it says learn more underneath. And then underneath it shows oh, there she is. Tracy is here. Yay. Hey, you got the chat function. You got it. You just chatted with us. Yay. Awesome. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna stop the screen share now that we've got a few people here with us. We can start.
Yay!
Yay! So I am here tonight with the fabulous author Dawn Davis Loring. Yay! So she's here to tell us all about her new book, Dance Appreciation, which is a fabulous thing because dance needs to be appreciated. So we're really excited about it. So feel free to type a question in the chat. Let's see. Brittany is saying something went wrong. The box didn't load, but I refreshed my screen. It popped up. Yay, good. So we got Tracy and we got Brittany. Thank you for joining us tonight. We've got 6 people watching. Yay.
Hey, that's awesome.
So feel free to go ahead and type your questions in the chat. I'm just going to throw a few things out and we'll start talking. Dawn, do you want to tell us a little bit about the basic premise of your book?
Sure. It is a book that I've been wanting to write for a while, and Human Kinetics finally said, yes, you can write a book. And they really wanted a dance appreciation textbook. And so I was given the lead writer role, and my co-author is Julie Pence. And she's at Kansas State. And we decided we wanted to have a book that was kind of like the Goldilocks book. It's the one that we always wanted, not too long, not too short, and has all the stuff in it that we would want to teach in a class ourselves. And we really wanted to have a book that dealt with what we're doing right now, which is using technology and using social media to be able to share information about dance. That's a big part of our book.
Yeah, that's huge because, I always feel like dance is a little bit the bastard child of the art world. It's sort of overlooked, even though it encompasses music, visual art, so many other aspects. It often gets kind of left behind. So I think it's great. Like anything we can do to promote dance is really awesome.
I agree.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I remember taking music appreciation and I took art appreciation as part of my major. And I know a lot of other people did, but nobody besides dance majors had to take dance appreciation. And I
so true.
and I do hope that's something that changes, or maybe a hybrid course that has several different things in it would be great, and maybe as a resource.
And maybe they were just waiting for the perfect textbook, which now we have to make that happen. That's so awesome. Tell us a little bit about who you view as the audience for this book. Is it high school kids, college kids, people who generally like dance, all of the above? Tell us a little bit about who you think this book is targeted towards.
Well, I'm going to go with all of the above for sure. And just so you know, my mom already bought a copy.
All right, go mom.
Moms of the world. But it is primarily meant for upper high school and for college age. And it's intended as a textbook, but it also reads like a primer on dance. It's got a little bit of history in there because you're talking about people in their careers and movements that happened, during the times of, we really focus a lot of energy on, I would say the 20th century. But also, there's a bit of dance history when we're talking about social dance. But we really also wanted it to appeal to a really wide audience and people who might be kind of interested in learning a bit about dance. I can work dance into any conversation ever. So.
Yes, dancers are really good at that because we have to be kind of obsessed with it. It's awesome.
Yeah. And, I don't really want dancers coming out of studios and dancers coming out of programs not knowing their history and not knowing where things came from. I was one of those studio kids that took a lot of classes, and then I got into college, and that was a whole new world for me. And I think it would be wonderful to have that introduced earlier.
Yeah, it's really important. And I've been teaching a lot of adult ed courses in dance history, and there's a real desire and a hunger for it because people don't. I have many young dancers who dance with me and they don't know the dance history. I'll mention a particular person. I'll say, oh, that reminds me of this. And they have no idea what I'm talking about. Right. The history is so, so important. Allison tells us that she took dance appreciation at SWT, AKA Texas State University in 2003. Yes. Awesome.
Yay.
Great. That's great to hear.
Awesome. They have
So
a
just for
wonderful
anybody who just
program.
came in, I'll just say real quick, we've got Dawn Davis Loring, who's in San Antonio, Texas.
Pretty
And
close.
she used to be in Boston here, and I'm coming to you from Boston, streaming this live. Feel free to type any questions you have for Dawn. Type them right in the live chat to the right of your screen. Feel free to ask us anything, and I'll just keep throwing questions out, but feel free to finish saying whatever you were about to say, Dawn.
Thanks for being here, Allison. Yay. So Kelly, tell everybody, while we just introduced ourselves again, tell everybody where you teach.
So I teach at the dance program at University of Massachusetts in Boston, where Dawn also taught. And this was one thing I wanted to ask you about, is that you have taught so many different kinds of dance. Can you just give us the list of different styles you've taught?
Oh, sure. So yeah, ballet, jazz, a teeny weeny bit of tap, modern dance, of course, that's my true love. Contemporary dance, musical theater dance, and embarrassingly, way long time ago, I actually taught a jazz / hip hop class.
Oh, wow.
But I was not very good.
That's impressive. I've always wondered, because I have a friend who teaches hip hop at UMass, and I always think she's going to call me when she needs a sub or something. And I always think, how can I take one of my modern phrases and make it percussive and make it like hip hop? But I think it would look really bad.
You can totally do that with jazz.
You think I can get away with that?
Okay. I've actually done it before. I taught a jazz class one time to people, and I was like, we could just take this modern phrase and kind of, jazz it all up. And it was actually very interesting.
Cool. How many different styles or genres of dance are covered in this book? And can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yes, I will grab my book.
Awesome.
Because I've got a copy.
Yes, hold it up and show us the pretty pictures.
Yes.
Gorgeous cover, by the way. Who's the dancer on the picture and the cover?
I would love to tell you, and I keep forgetting to ask. I'm not sure if it's information that I could get a hold of. However, when they showed us this cover, we were like,
oh, yeah, it's
perfect.
Gorgeous. I love it.
Change nothing. Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. No, I wish I knew who that was, and I don't know. But we do, here, I'll just go to the thingy here. We start off talking about social dance. So all types of dance that people started doing, when people started dancing. Then we move on to ballet, modern and contemporary modern dance, jazz dance, tap dance, hip hop, and then excitingly, we've got a chapter on aerial and site-specific dance.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's great.
I'm so excited. And one of the delightful things about that chapter is I was able to get a profile in there of a group that does aerial dance in Austin, Blue Lapis Light, run by Sally Jacques.
Oh, cool.
And, they're remarkable. They're absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous company. And so we also got a chance to have another profile in there of an artist that I really admire, Elizabeth Streb. And
cool.
She's one of those people that is really, really hard to kind of put in one category or another. So I thought she fit pretty well in this chapter.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't call her an aerial dance company.
No,
I wouldn't call them site specific. I actually call them kind of daredevil dance.
Yeah. You know what's a great angle when you're teaching your students is that if you have student athletes who've been asked to take a dance class, we have a lot of this at UMass. Totally. A lot of the student athletes, their coaches tell them, go take dance, you need more coordination. Right. And I always assign them, I tell them for your research topic, because I usually make them do a short little paper every semester, I say, study Elizabeth Streb, because that's something that they can really relate to, the athleticism of her company.
Absolutely.
So it's a great topic to include in your book, because really, you know, that's something student athletes can really grab a hold of. They really like her a lot.
Right, absolutely. You know, I mean, aerial dance, I think, grabs them as well. But I have found when I show videos of Elizabeth Streb's work, people just say, "Is that dance? I had no idea that was dance."
Yeah.
You know, and I say, "Yes, indeed."
Yeah. And
We'll
that's what's
claim
so
it.
wonderful about modern dance, is that it comes at dance from so many different angles, from the pedestrian movement to the athleticism to the artistry, you know, to the emotions. It covers such a wide range of things. We spend the entire semester in our modern dance class exploring what is modern dance, because it's such a varied, vast topic, for sure.
Absolutely. It's really, you know, it's something for everybody. You know, you find something that, you know, you think, well, I don't know if I like this or not. Well, there's more. There's so much more. There are so many different options.
Hey, we have some questions on the live stream.
I love
Yay.
questions.
T. So this must be, and that might be Tracy. It looks like you're answering my question, but does the book feature a variety of people working in the field?
Oh, yes. Great question. Thank you. Yes, it does. This is another thing that we really wanted to focus on in the book. And we were weighing whether we should dedicate a chapter to it, or maybe we could work it so that it's threaded throughout the book. And that is what we ended up doing. So we have interviews with and profiles with people who dance critics. We've got Ann Daly, who was my professor at UT. And we also have, you know, Lindsay Cattle.
Yes.
A videographer.
Yes.
And
cool.
Yeah, in order to show all of the different things that you could be doing as well. Tracy Sadler Mahalik. She is a dancer who also decided to get certified in all of these different types of dance exercise. And so we wanted to show that there are different things that you could do, not just choreography and performance, you know, that's awesome, but there's lots of different roads that you could travel through and still stay aligned with dance.
That's great. Hey, the questions are starting to come in. So
I love questions.
Brittany Lopez asks, she's like, do you have any plans to write additional books? And if so, what would you love to write more about?
Oh, I like that. Yes, I would love to write more books. I'm going to tell you an idea that I have right now for, I want to do a children's / adult book. When I was at a private school teaching, we would put on ballets, and what would happen is they would come, they would watch their kids, they loved it, it was fabulous, we'll do Cinderella, you know, and it's wonderful. But what we realized was the audience didn't understand all of the miming that was used. So this ballet mime, there's this whole ballet mime language. So we actually created an insert to put in the program to kind of show the different sorts of things, like, you know, we're married, or deaf, or, you know, all of those things that they could see in the story. So it would make it a little easier for them to understand the parts that that, you know, had some storytelling. And I think it'd be really fun to get with an illustrator and create a more a larger vocabulary, if you will, of all of these different types of mime. And you know, connect it with history about these ballets. And of course, a lot of them are, you know, romantic era ballets, of course.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I think dancers rely so much on the live lecture demonstration. Let's you know, let's tell the audience right before, because they probably haven't read the 20 books or whatever, you know, so it's, you know, so it's really important, you know, to kind of inform people up front. My another friend of mine is on here, and he is asking, you mentioned social media. What have you found to be some of the best social media venues for dance? YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. What do you think?
Yes, all of the above. because, there's wonderful things about each one of them. I mean, look what we're doing through Facebook right now. That's
Yeah.
one of the strengths that Facebook allows us to have. YouTube, what a dream. I remember a time, I'm, a dinosaur, and I remember a time before we had every single clip of dance in the world available to us pretty much on YouTube. And I remember the first time I realized what that resource actually could do for my classes. And it was a whole new world. And you see different artists like ballet dancers in particular who have these huge followings on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think that's, a wonderful way for people to, reach out to audiences in ways that we couldn't have even imagined, even 20 years, even 15 years ago. I don't even want to go 20 years ago, but I remember when I was producing shows and I was so frustrated with the process of, I would go out and I'd print up a bunch of posters and postcards and I would email everybody and I'd do everything that I could think of to do as much free marketing as possible.
Yeah.
But imagine then and what is available now. I mean, I could put up a show. Everybody could put up a show that they're doing, and everybody in the world could possibly see it.
True. And it's interesting what you say about it going from the 90s to the 2000s about promoting a show. And I love the fact that your book touches upon dance production, dance video. I mean, it hits so many different aspects of dance that are behind the scenes that people would have no way of knowing about. That's one of the great things I observed about it when I was looking it over. But it's interesting because it used to be you would just mail a press release with your best photos and then it would get coverage or it wouldn't. And you didn't really have as much control over what happened. But if you were diligent and you met the deadlines, you could do pretty well. Now it's kind of like the work has shifted to us.
Yes.
And when you post, you have to post on Facebook or whatever a million times because that one post is only about your 25 best friends are seeing it. And that's about it, which makes it really hard to get butts in the seat. It makes it really tough to get people there. You have to post and post and post. And I think the younger generations are good at this and they figured it out right away. It's taken me a little bit longer. I don't know about you.
Oh, I agree. I think it definitely, I avoided, embarrassingly, I avoided Twitter for a very long time.
Yeah.
I finally relented. And
I especially did recently because I didn't want to hear from,
and I avoided Instagram for a long time, and then, I wanted to do, my part for this book release. So I had a website created and I did all of the social media links, but that's a part-time job keeping
it is. It
up
seriously
with
is.
all
You
of
need
those
staff.
things and, and trying to link things in such a way that people will be able to, make the best use of it. And I've learned all sorts of really great lessons about what not to do and what to do, what actually kind of works a little bit better. So I'm getting more savvy. But yeah, you're right. The generation, after us, they're just like, woohoo, yeah.
And it gives an entry to people that might not have it otherwise. Brittany is asking us a question. Can you expand more on the social dance section of the book? What styles are featured? I'm so pleased to hear that there is a part that is not so Eurocentric.
Oh, absolutely. That was, thank you for the question. That was one of the things that we talked about a lot because we did not want to write a book where it says ballet, woo, here we are at the very top of the pyramid of dance.
Yeah.
So we actually approached it through the lens of social dance first. And although I'm going to have to cheat here, although we don't, that's the hard thing about dance appreciation. You want to give them everything. You want to talk about everything that you possibly can. You want to write about everything you possibly can, but you just can't. So we, where are we? We start off with the origins of social dance, and we kind of skim over all the other centuries like a little bit, and surprise, 20th century. because we really wanted to focus more on dances that happened closer to when students are alive now. And
Yeah.
so we really, focused more energy on, dance going forward from the 1900s. But we really talk about it in a way that honors the fact that the dances that we do, the dances that we share, are things that come from people hanging out with each other, people saying, look at this cool thing I can do, and people learning dance from other people. And that's kind of the way that we really wanted to frame, talking about social dance, because that's what it actually is. It's hanging out socially with other people and doing fun stuff together. That's where all of this comes from.
Yeah. And was that, do you talk a little bit about how hip hop was, how that developed? Because it seems to me like that was a little bit in that way initially, and it's changed quite a lot. But
Oh, absolutely. Our hip hop chapter really follows the trajectory of how this started. It was essentially just people hanging out together and doing cool stuff, how a lot of these things start. And it traveled through many different iterations. Like, it became really, really commercial, and it kind of split off from rap, kind of like, it went, rap music kind of went one direction, and then hip hop dance kind of went another direction, and then they kind of came back together a little bit, and it is it's been a very interesting journey for me. After having taught for a while, you think you know a lot of things, and I learned so much writing this book. There were a lot of things that you just kind of, maybe you think or you kind of have an idea about. And I had not really studied hip hop dance very much.
yeah,
And it has a beautiful and amazing history. And I
yeah,
learned about the 5 pillars of hip hop, and how hip hop dance is just one part of this entire artistic movement that deals with music and poetry and art, and it's just amazing.
cool. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think, it sounds almost like if you were teaching a dance history class in any school, this would be an ideal book to just cover a whole broad range of different things. So tell me a little bit more about what prompted you to write the book. You said that you wanted to have a book that would be ideal for your own teaching. Tell us a little bit more about that. Where did you feel the
Well,
current textbooks were lacking, and what specific parts did you include?
well, I really I wanted a book that covered all the things that I thought were important, and I wanted a book that dealt with technology. And we really had not seen other books. I don't want to sit here and dog other people's books,
Well, we just
but
didn't have
we
that technology back when
yeah,
they were
exactly.
written.
These
Yeah,
books were written before that, and
yeah.
maybe it's harder to work that into a text that's already been written. Maybe you add a chapter on the end. Um, we really wanted a book that dealt with these things and talked about these things, throughout the entire text, not just saying, look, here's our technology and dance chapter, and it all sits there. We really wanted to continue talking about it. We even continue that in the last chapter is kind of world dance. And it's impossible to put all of world dance
Right.
into one chapter, right? And
Yeah.
when the editor said, we want a chapter on world dance, we were like, okay.
Wow.
um,
You could write a whole book on that topic. Maybe that'll be your next book.
Wait, yeah. So I took a page from how that dancing text and all the videos that come with that.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
that one. I took a page from how they dealt with it. What they
Mm.
decided to do was, instead of talking about look, South America and all the cool dances. Look, another continent and all the cool dances. And it
Yeah.
kind of gets to be a bit of a grocery list of dances.
Right.
Instead, we kind of said, okay, look how this dance over here on this continent kind of connects with this dance on this other continent, because the reason that they're doing it is is celebration.
And
So we did
ritual.
it
Yeah.
kind of more thematically, so we could kind of, pick and choose from all different places. And one of the things that we really wanted to talk about, since we're talking about world dance, is the ways that we celebrate it all over the world. There are all of these national dance, National Dance Day, International Dance Day, and I assume that there are going to be more coming up that really celebrate dance, and it's got a technology aspect and a way of sharing dance that is very 21st century, compared with how people used to have to share dance in person. And look, I'm going to do this cool thing. Now you do this cool thing. And now we see things. One of my favorite recent videos that I stumbled upon was this really great Native American dancer, and he had the entire costume on, and he was just hanging around with his friends in the parking lot of the event. And they called out different sorts of types of dance, like raven, grass, this type of dance, that type of dance, buffalo. And so he would do the things that indicated those ideas or those animals. And then they said, Running Man. And so, then, here he is in this, it was just a very interesting combination. Yeah. And I thought, this only exists because of everything that you can see now. There are hybrids that are happening, that are being created, that are just so very interesting, because people can share dance all over the world, not just person to person, in one room.
Yeah, and it's interesting how students are learning now, because they're so used to being an audience visually and watching, that sometimes I find students even in class will stand at the back of the room and just watch. And as a dancer, I've always learned by doing it and getting in my muscle memory. And I have to explain to them, you'll learn it quicker if you do it with us, because your body is learning those connections as you do it every time, even if you're watching me as you do it. And it's interesting because I think students have gotten used to watching and learning by just watching and not doing. And it's interesting, it's changed how people learn a little bit.
Oh, I totally agree, because we have these screens between us, the screens open up a whole new world, but they also are a bit of a barrier.
Yep, at times. Mm-hmm. Hopefully pretty soon we'll get out from behind our screens and back into the studio, we hope.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that would be.
So tell me a little bit about, what else do you want us to know about this book? What are the most important things? If you could pick one chapter for people to read, which chapter would that be? I know that's a tough one. Or just what are the most important things you want us to know about this book?
Ooh, well, let me start with that, and then maybe I'll think of my favorite chapter.
And feel free to read an excerpt if you should think of something you want to read. That would be great.
Do that. So I really wanted to help market this book as much as possible. So, I go through it every once in a while, and I'm like, okay, big picture, what are what sets this apart from other books? So I made a list of those things.
Oh, great. Yeah, please go ahead.
So, one of the things that I think is very strong visually about this book is that the dancers pictured within it are different ages, different races, body types, abilities. And we really wanted for people to be able to see themselves or someone that they know in this book. And it's not just, Balanchine ballerinas, and that's the only people that can dance. We talked about this already. It really addresses this idea of Western, this hierarchy of Western dance and the privileging of that type of dance. And we really wanted to try to pull it away from that as much as possible. It's also, another thing is, it's also very geographically diverse. So I am from Texas, and I've lived in different parts of the country. I've lived in London. And, although I think remarkable and fabulous things happen in the dance world that exists in New York City and also on the other coast in California, there's this whole country in between. And I really feel that dance can and should be happening everywhere. And so I wanted to focus attention on people who, also on people who are working and dancing in the middle of the country as well. And that's one of the things that I'm really, really proud of, is it mentions people throughout the United States. We've got a teacher that we talk about that is a profiled, and she works in Kentucky.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. And we have actually San Antonio is the home of a flamenco family.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so there's 4 generations of the Champion family.
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
yeah. And so, one of the things that we wanted to do was honor the fact that these sorts of things happen everywhere. And, I think it's critical for anybody learning about dance to understand that it's not just New York City. New York City is fabulous, don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but dance happens everywhere.
it does. And it's for everybody. And I love that this book really brings that home. How
Mhm.
long did it take you from the beginnings of the idea to the execution to get to this point?
Oh, okay. Well, good thing you're sitting down. Um, yeah. When we signed on to do the book, she said, it's going to be a 2-year process. And we said,
Wow.
gulp, 2 years? Wow. So it really is.
Yep.
And so we spent the first year submitting chapters, researching, writing, submitting chapters. And then the second year is spent on, working on the drafts with the editors and, working on, we've got these really great online packages that go with the books, and one of them
Oh, cool.
geared toward students. And yeah, I can talk all about that
Yeah.
if you want. One of them is geared toward students, and the other one is geared more toward teachers.
Oh,
And
I think I saw some of that. The supplemental materials that come with it give
and
teachers exercises and things. Yeah, tell us more about that.
I will, because I made a list. I was like, I need to make sure I know what I'm talking about. Here it is. Okay. Okay, teacher package includes tips and resource links, links to things that we talk about, or interesting companies, organizations that have to do with dance, that you can just take a look at, that completely, you can go back to the text and see where we're talking about this company. A few YouTube links, because they break, they change, but we tried to do YouTube links that were with companies that we figured that was probably going to stay for a while. There are also customizable PowerPoint presentations. We took the information and put it into, there's not images on it yet, but I'm assuming you can customize them however you want. But essentially, it's got the material that's in the chapter, and then there's a subsequent PowerPoint presentation if you want to use that. That would have saved me so much time when I was
Definitely. So it's really, you've got a whole curriculum sort of laid out for people, which is great.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's simple syllabi. So if somebody is, suddenly they find out, hey, guess what? You're teaching dance appreciation. Then there's a simple syllabi that they can use.
Great.
There's, let's see, activity ideas, paper ideas, And there's also a test package. So we created like 25 question tests in there as well.
Wow, that's
And okay,
amazing.
so here's my favorite. So I was doing my my homework. So this test package can actually be uploaded into learning management systems. There is something called Respondus. I am not familiar with this particular thing, but the important thing that I saw was this interfaces with Blackboard, Moodle, and Canvas systems. And I've used 2 out of 3 of those. So that was
Wow.
exciting for me. I thought, wow, how
Blackboard. Yeah, we have
fabulous.
Blackboard at UMass. Yep.
Exactly. So you could just upload this test package and deliver the tests to your students remotely.
Wow.
Yeah. Then the student package has flashcards and application activities, research project ideas, choreography. Oh yeah, there's videos. There's a really cool set of videos that deal with choreographic concepts. And then there's assignments that go with those videos.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And there is an interactive dance, film, and technological advances timeline. So essentially what that is when we were working on the chapter, viewing and responding to dance, I thought about what that is actually going to be. And I thought of the viewing part in really large terms, like how you would view dance.
Mhm.
And so think about dance on television, all of those things that were actually produced in Boston and by a couple of other companies in the city as well,
Yeah.
and showed dance on TV and the PBS stations, dance on video, dance that is made just for film. It only
Yes.
exists
Which
on
is a
film.
whole different genre, really, in a
Exactly.
way. Yeah.
And, and as I was going through all of these like permutations of how, you could share dance on film, I realized one of the resources that I used started a timeline. And so I used part of their timeline, and then I added a bunch to it and added, pretty much from the 1980s going forward, as far as technological advances that really kind of pushed creative capacity forward. I mean, you remember when this is not even that long ago. You remember when suddenly your phones could do slow motion? And that was like an amazing, oh, my phone can film in slow motion, so I
I don't
thought,
know if I've discovered that yet, but I will.
uh-oh. Hey,
I have
guess
an
what?
Android, so I don't have an iPhone. So
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about all of them, but anyway, so this timeline includes all these things late, 1800s all the way through till about 20, I think we did 2020. And it's interactive, so you click on the things and things come up, and
people
maybe
love
somebody,
interactive. Yeah, that's
yeah,
great.
and maybe somebody looks at this and it gives them an idea for something that they want to research for later. So
Yeah.
that's really the reason behind all the things in the package, is to, give people more options for interacting with dance and everything, dance.
This is the dream book I wish had been available 15 years ago when I started teaching at UMass, because honestly, it seems like not only could you get a history for dance, curriculum for dance history, it sounds like a little bit for dance composition. Like you could maybe even have exercises for more than one course. If you're a faculty member and you're just starting to teach, this sounds like the best tool ever to start to build your curriculum and your resources to work
Thank
with
you.
students on a
Thank you.
variety of different courses.
Yeah, we just wanted it to be the everything book, and everything we could possibly shove into this book, we did.
Wow, this is such a huge accomplishment. I mean, I've been looking it over and I've learned so much just from hearing you talk about it. Tell us a little bit about what else you have coming up and what other, if you have other books, other projects, all of that stuff.
Sure. I have a project that is ongoing right now, and I'm hoping to complete the entries pretty soon. I gave myself a really big job. It all started when I was trying to get students interested in dance in any sort of way possible. I thought, my birthday is really important to me. It makes me feel special. And I like knowing all the different artists and thinkers and people and famous people who share my birthday. So I thought, why can't we have something like that for dance?
Oh,
And
cool.
so I have been doing this project's been ongoing for about 4 years now. And I've been doing research, and I kind of started it in one way, and I didn't really love how that was working. But when I got a website, I now have a platform that I can put this out there, and it's all free. Pretty much it's called Today in Dance. And each day it profiles one or more people who have that birthday.
Yes, I saw that. I took a peek at your website, and I remember just a few days ago, I forget whose birthday it was, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look on my birthday. I'm gonna check that out.
Oh, do. Yeah. I
I
have
think
lots
it's
of,
Adora Duncan and I share a birthday.
hey, yeah, and I have dancer friends who, one of my friends said, "Hey, I didn't know I shared a birthday with Gene Kelly." And I said, "Well, I didn't know it either." So great. But this project has just, it's big, man. It's, 366 days. And so I am more than halfway through now as far as entries. And I'm just, churning and churning, trying to get that out, because I feel like it's if you build it, people will come. And it's my hope that once this is there and, all of the days are represented, then people can take a look at it and say, hey, this person sounds really interesting. And there are so many people that I have included in this that, I can't really get their whole life. I try to get their life, down to a sentence or two. And some people are absolutely fascinating, and I want to know more about these people. I just have to kind of stop myself and pull back and go, okay, I gotta keep going. But it's been a really, really challenging and really gratifying project. I'm really excited about it. So maybe it would be a book, but maybe it's not a book. Maybe it's best, online. Maybe that's the best delivery of it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, it gives you the flexibility to keep changing it up too, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
I keep,
that sounds very interesting. I'd be interested in
thanks.
that.
Yeah, I keep thinking, different ways that people can interact with it. And I just had a brainstorm the other day. I need to like a monthly, I need like a monthly calendar so you can see all of the people and be able to search it that way. That would be kind of, easier than just day by day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. It
Oh,
looks like we've run out of questions. I think people have asked us quite a few things. Thank you, everybody who joined us on the live stream, and those of you watching at home that we didn't hear from. Thank you for subscribing. Please hit the little red button in the corner that's right over the Zoom, the subscribe button, and subscribe to my channel, because I hope to do more of these kinds of cool things. And your next
yeah.
book that comes out, we'll do it again. So
Thank you, Kelly, so much. Really, really wonderful. And it's, just another example of, dance out there in the universe, and in a way that, anybody could share in it. And everybody, please go take a look at her YouTube channel, because it is amazing. I looked at it today and it's like, poof, all of these wonderful videos. So
thank you. Yeah, I've been having fun. I'm doing something. I'll just throw a few of my own promos out. We do something called the Virtual Speakeasy every month, and it's where you can create a dance film and have it broadcast. We started doing, it's sort of funny. We started doing we called it the Speakeasy. It was in my living room. It was just a few friends coming over, reading poetry and dancing, and then it kind of grew into an event. And then when the pandemic hit, we went virtual, and now we call it the Virtual Speakeasy.
I love it.
We have an open mic portion at the end too. So if you just want to show something and just show up spontaneously, it's the fourth Saturday of every month at 8 p.m. The next one is February 27th. And I live stream on this channel, but also there's a Zoom meeting. I think it's in the description of every video, the information about the virtual speakeasy. You can join the open mic part of it, which is a lot of fun. And then you can just do a little something. Sometimes it's a great way to kind of get your feet wet, just stick a toe in, trying to broadcast your dancing virtually. You can do an improv in your living room. So it's, pretty much anything goes, and it's just a lot of fun. And we have regular folks who come, some dancers from New York, some dancers from Boston. I usually create a video, and I've been having a lot of fun learning editing techniques. You can look at some of my videos, like Dawn was saying.
We're just all learning. We're all learning new skills.
Yeah, we have to. And I think video is great. You can learn I've learned so much in video editing in these last couple of months. And I think what I'm going to do is do an event where it's like a dance concert online, and it's all the solos I've been creating these last 6 or 9 months, like the better ones. And I think it'll be fun. I think March 13th at 8 p.m. Saturday is the date we chose for it. And it's going to be fun because I can, explain a little bit about what I learned and the process and editing and how you do that, and how I came to create the videos that I did and what I'm working on. And I've never done a solo concert because building up the stamina to perform an evening of solos, oh my God. But online, I can do it.
I love this idea. It's fabulous.
Yeah. So I thought that would be a lot of fun. And my spring break from UMass teaching starts on the 12th. So on the 13th at 8 p.m., we're going to do that. So join us for either one of those. We'd love to have you. Thanks everybody in the chat for typing in your wonderful questions. I put in the human kinetics link that you gave me for the book. And the other thing I want to say is I was able to, as a faculty member of a university or school, I was able to get like an electronic desk copy of the book to kind of preview it and see. So I encourage people to think about doing that, or you can buy it on Amazon. The link is there. Buy a copy, get a hard copy. I personally like to read in the bathtub, so I prefer the hard copy, but electronic is great too, because you can at least see all the chapters and read. You can read it on your computer and see if it makes sense to take that step forward and order it for your course. Cool. Anything else you want to tell folks? This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye. Bye, Texas.
Bye, Boston.
Bye.